Okay, so what I'm doing is, unfortunately, the barrel roll, I liked it, but it's got to go. The decision was made that we don't like the barrel roll because theoretically, how could you do that and actually be quiet? So, no problem. What we're going to do is we're going to remap out this animation in such a way, and actually I think I'm going to go ahead and erase those intermediary lines. They're not going to do me any good. I'm going to literally map this out with sticks and balls. There's his hip area. So sticks and balls meaning I need to know where his joints are so that I can properly plot the motion. And I don't want to waste time doing any more than that. All right. So now the original drawing. Okay, so apparently we want to go to here. Okay, we need to match. And I'm going to go ahead and kill this. We need to match the original action first of all. So let me make sure that's all on 3s. Okay, it's not. That's on 2s. So that's kind of what I thought actually. So now I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to use the S key to sort of block this in. And I'm waiting now, waiting with bated breath for my mouse to indicate my rotation widget, which is part and parcel of the S selection tool. And for some bizarre reason, today is the day that OpenTunes has decided, no, oh no, no, no. When you use the selection tool, you're not allowed to rotate. Every other day for the last year, the S key lets you rotate, but not today. No, no, no. Today's the day you're not allowed to rotate with the selection tool. Okay, oh, I see. I see. I see. So if you use the selection tool and you first scale your drawing, then you can rotate it. But you are not allowed to rotate it until you first scaled it. That is a very, very interesting design decision. Why do I call it a design decision as opposed to crappy programming? Because of course, the programmers aren't crappy. They're good programmers. So this must be just a bizarre design decision that I'm just not smart enough to understand how brilliant it must have been. Oh yes, it was brilliant. Okay, I'm a little freaked out by that, but okie dokie folks. There's no shortage of bizarre design decisions in software. I'm being facetious, of course. It is crappy programming. Yep, you're not allowed to rotate it until after you first scaled it. And of course, everyone knows that, right? Of course, we would have guessed that. That's the most commonsensical thing in the world. No, it's the stupidest thing in the world. Okay, so at this point, this is where it falls apart. Okay, now it's tempting to, gosh, I'm thinking I'm going to actually put in another raster level here so that I can kind of map this motion out. Okay, so in other words, what's supposed to happen, there's a number of ways I could do this, but I guess I'll do it this way. I'm gonna give this a try. I'm gonna keep duplicating my drawings here and keep doing it the way I'm doing it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do this on 2s. So what I'm gonna have to do is just sort of just sort of feel the motion frame by frame and try to block it in a way that just feels right. Okay, so now we can see he goes like that to get his foot up there. Okay, so that makes sense. But now there's got to be a real shift. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this hand would stay anchored. Okay, so let's work with what we know to discover what we don't know. What we don't know. Okay. Oh my gosh. It's just, this kind of stuff is just, how can you as a software developer suck that bad? Okay, we'll blame that one on me, because somehow in some inexplicable way that I just don't understand, I actually got switched over to this level. Did I do that? Did I click that? Okay, yeah, we'll blame it on me. Fine. Okay, so I'm gonna say that not only would his wrist is gonna go down there, but also, I don't know, maybe I'll use this. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit the control key. I'm just gonna stretch this because I really want to kind of sort of make it kind of close to what I really think it should be. So, okay, so yes, so his hand would anchor. Now what's going to happen here is there's going to be a shift in his body weight around the abdomen. So that means something like this is going to happen. Now, let's go ahead and go with that. Now, if that happened, what would happen to this elbow? This elbow would move out. Okay. Now, if this elbow moved out, okay, and that's, I assume that's foreshortened toward us. Okay. So let's go back here. Yeah, that, I'm going to assume that was my fault when it switched levels like that. Okay. So what I think would happen here is this would turn out and it would become less foreshortened. It would be less toward us. And I'm going to go ahead and add another frame. So let's go ahead and, I'm not using auto creation because I've really got to build each drawing on the last one. So what would happen here? Well, first thing is, if he's gonna, okay, so this is interesting. Where did our center point go? Is it still down below? No, it isn't. So where is it? Okay, normally with the selection tool, you can see the center point and you can edit its location so that it revolves around that new location if you want to change it. And here, what have we found? I'm gonna save my work. This is so buggy. It's like it's surely gonna blow up. Okay, and now it's gone. Did I delete it? No. But now it's gone. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's so amazingly. This is getting into Krita territory here. The level of stupidity that we're having to deal with in the software. I hate to be so acerbic all the time, but it's like there's just no excuse for it. It's ridiculous. Do the people that do the programming ever actually use the program? No, they don't. Because if they did, they would be well aware of this kind of silly behavior. Okay, so now what's going to happen to this elbow? Let's just double check here. Okay, he moved over. And actually right here, I'm going to make a change here too. I think that elbow should actually shift a bit that way. Okay. Okay. Both arms are turning out. Yes. Correct. So that means this is going like this. So he's going like this. He's going from kind of this kind of thing. Well, I guess it'd be the opposite. This kind of thing to like this. Okay. So that makes sense. And the cool thing is, just by mapping this out with sticks and balls, I know for a fact it's going to be fairly easy to actually animate when the time comes. Okay. So now, in order to do what he's got to do next, we have to push his weight up. He's got to push up with those hands. Honestly, I think he would actually slide this hand over a little bit. Yep. Yep. And he would also plant this hand more firmly. So I'm going to go ahead and again use the control key to sort of flatten the hand out. Okay. Happily, OpenTunes is not acting stupid now. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to add another frame. You really want to get this action correct. Okay, so this is going to be frame 6. And are we ready to push up yet? Methinks probably not. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and set an auto start frame here. And let's just do 30 frames. Okay, no problem. Okay, so same thing again. I'm going to say at this point his weight would tilt a little bit that way, and he's going to shift a little bit that way. If he shifted that way, then this elbow would begin to straighten out. We're going to want to keep the hand anchored. Now, if that happens, honestly, this elbow would be pushed, or the shoulder would be pushed up. This elbow would begin to lock in. So, excuse me, sorry. That was very, very rude. Okay, and I'm going to hit the slash key to turn the onion skinning off, by the way. Darn it. I hate to sneeze in everybody's ears like that. Okay. Okay, so here, now the onion skinning was actually doing a little more harm than good. Again, just kind of saying let's flatten this out. Okay. Just to sort of add a little clarity, let's rotate this. Okay, but OpenTunes doesn't want to let me rotate it, does it? No, no, no. Let's just do it this way. It's so stupid. Do it manually. See? There it is. So now, oh, okay. If you put your mouse above the upper right-hand corner, then the widget appears. There it appears. There. Oh, now it appears. Okie dokie, folks. Whatever. Okay. Okay. That's important. It's important that his body weight. Okay, so why did OpenTunes just erase my elbow? Okie dokie. Okay, I'm gonna give myself one more frame to really stabilize this action. And prepare for the next thing, which is kind of a fancy schmancy move actually. So we're going to take this, move it up there. We're going to take the elbow, or the shoulder, I keep calling his shoulders elbows, and we're going to really crunch them in. Okay. I think, honestly, now the rotate tool works. Okay. What I was trying to say is that his this hand would not move, I don't believe. Okay, so now just for completeness, I want to go ahead and work with his hips a little bit here. Okay, so here, let's just say a little bit of a shift. I should have really done this all along the way, but that's okay. If I'm not mistaken, the world's going to actually keep turning, even though I didn't. Okay, so now this is kind of sort of maybe making a little more sense. Okay, so now you can see what's going on. Now he's going to do something extremely cool. At least I think it's cool. Alright, and how do we want to do this? Let's try, I'm going to hit save all, and I'm going to go ahead and try this using the shear tool. I don't know if it's going to work, but how do we shear this? Alt? Does the Alt key shear it? What's that? Oh, I see, that adds to the selection. Control? Yes! There we go. The control key does it. Alright. Okay. Let's just make sure we like that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give that a frame, because we can always cut number 9 out. But what's going to happen now is we're going to add a knee. Would the knee, gosh, would the knee, I mean, this guy's supposed to be like stupidly flexible, okay? Like, this guy's got some serious flexibility going on. Now remember, we've already got this scenario. This leg is already anchored. Okay, so this is what's actually going on. So, do we want to be sort of rigorously realistic about this? I don't think we can afford to be rigorously realistic about it, but we can at least try to find a naturalistic way for this motion to happen. Because what's supposed to happen is his knee comes up. Let's just say, well, we'll just grab this. Alright, and then for completeness' sake, for lack of a better term, we'll say, okay. So now, physically, this is what's going on. Now the question for me is, where is that knee going to go? If I'm going to do it the way I think it would have to happen to be even physically plausible at all. And I may get in trouble for this. In other words, Valerie might not like it because she may want it to look... She's not around right now, so I can't ask her, but... Question is, do you want this knee to come up here, and then the foot goes out like that? Or do you want the knee to sneak up into here like that? For me, This is actually what makes sense. So, and I could definitely be wrong on this, but okay, so let's just hit the erase key here to get rid of those references, and then I almost think we're going to need an intermediate drawing. Yeah. Okay, so if this was going to happen, I'm actually thinking that this whole... Okay, I don't really want to do that. What I want to do is something like that. So we sort of force that to stay anchored. So, you know, I'm just trying to work out the physics here of how might somebody actually pull this off. And my thinking is, where's my little center thing? Center widget. Okay. So does that work? If it was going to work, I do think we need... Well, of course, at the same time, this is happening pretty quick. I was going to say we need another in-between, but actually I don't think we do. We'll see, maybe. Okay, so to pull this move off, the splits is no problem. But don't you think, to get into this position, there's no way the body's not going to move. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way. So therefore, grab this whole thing except the hand, put the point of rotation here, and let's just rotate the whole kit and caboodle. Okay. And I'm going to say that if we did that, that's going to come up a little bit, rotate a little bit. Because remember, we got that there. So really, this is in the wrong position. This is what we got to change. So that's not too bad. I can live with that. I'm going to turn the onion skinning back on, by the way, so we can see the previous frame. So now we're going to hit the B key, and I'm going to say there's. Ugh, the onion skins are not helping. And this is got to be even more extreme, in my opinion. I think that elbow would have to come up there, and he would actually have to do a real weight shift right here. Boom, boom. So we're drawing the hands as triangles. So now let's do a little bit of judicious erasing so that we're not being confused by lines that are erroneous. And I don't like the direction of that hand. I think it'd be more like that. So this whole maneuver would require pretty good coordination. Now, what I was complaining about earlier is if you're going to do that move, starting right there, this would have to change. So let's grab these guys. Let's put the center point at the... God dang. And will it let me undo? No, of course it won't let me undo. Okay, so here's a life lesson. If you're drawing, and of course you have autosave on so the OpenTunes won't destroy your work, if it autosaves while you're using the selection tool, it'll destroy your work. That's what we just learned. Is it dumber than a box of rocks? Is it so amazingly stupid that you just can't even believe how stupid that is? Yep. Yep. Can't believe how stupid it is, but there it is. The autosave tool that's supposed to help you actually causes you to have your drawing destroyed. Okay, that's how it works. I'm sure there's some really, really smart reason why that's actually a good thing. Okay. Now there's an additional problem here. Okay. I'm gonna say that this whole thing, anchored as it is, has to move like that a little bit. Okay, so this next drawing is very important. He's got to get his weight anchored now. Which means he's got to come forward. Which means he would come in a little bit and be slightly larger. Just slightly. Okay, but the idea is that he's got to come forward. Okay, so now let's go ahead and erase this. Because, yeah, onion skins aren't going to be super helpful here. I don't know about other people, but I've definitely been finding that I get a lot more out of just looking at how things are moving from frame to frame than I do by using onion skins. Onion skins, surprisingly, actually, I would think they'd be more useful than they are. Okay, so let's just go ahead and let's fall back on actual drawing here. Okay, so like I said, this pose is actually pretty important. Okay, because he's got to have his knee come forward, and he's got to have his weight shift forward, so he can go ahead and get his hand back down to the floor. Okay. Okay, so obviously this is wrong. But fortunately, it's kind of whipping into shape here. So I'm going to go here. Right? Alright, I'm going to keep going on this track. I like the direction it's going. I think it's kind of working. Okay. So here, I'm going to just erase the most egregious things that I know definitely need to be fixed. That works. Okay. Now we've got to take this again, bring this in like that. I think maybe, okay, so if we're going to do that, that's okay, but we would actually have to move this shoulder so it's scrunched up even further. And then my sense is that we need to really re-anchor this hand like that. Okay, so then let me see if this is okay. Probably this pose should be slightly modified. Okay, if we're going to want to go there, then I'd say we don't want to be about here, and maybe with the fingers extended. Okay, I like that pretty well. So I'm just going to say what feels natural to me is the idea that it's going to go like this. That might be a little too extended, but okay. Let's put in another key. Okay. And I'm going to actually delete everything, turn on onions. Okay, why is that? Oh, I see. We need to be 2 frames back, not 1 frame back, and we don't need any frames forward. So let's go here and look at what's about to happen. Is going to be his head's going to come forward, his shoulders are going to lurch in a little bit, his knees are going to. We've got to keep his feet planted, right? So, therefore, as a ninja who has tremendous flexibility and strength, he's basically pulling a Spider-Man move here, okay? So, again, this foot's got to stay anchored, but the knee can come forward. Okay, I feel like that's working. And if somebody actually did that, what would happen? I think this hand would come up. Okay, so this hand's going to stay anchored as well, but he's got to lean into it. Alright, so let's turn it on, let's get it off. That feels pretty good to me, actually. I think I actually... Okay, this probably not quite right. Okay, I like that. Very superhero-y, frankly. Which might be a good thing, might be a bad thing, depending on who you ask. Okay. Okay, so for the moment, let's go ahead and look at how this looks. Not bad, but of course, we gotta keep going. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn auto creation on, because at this point I'm going to be more drawing than editing, you might say. Okay, so all I'm going to do the next few frames is deal with his head. Yeah, I have this tendency to start drawing things too big for some reason. I don't like that. Okay, the question becomes, what is the pose he's going to land on? So I'm just going to bump this up to 200 and stretch this out so we can see what he's doing so far. Not totally thrilled with. Yeah. See my nose wiggling? It's because it's itchy. I'm not sure I like this. I'm not sure I like what he's doing. I like that. Actually, I think we should stop there. Why are we even adding these other frames? The idea is for him to freeze his pose at a reasonable time. And then, let's turn the onion skinning back off. Okay. Let's go ahead and go back to the beginning. Let's just look at this. So we got this. She knows something's going on. Pans forward. Reveals him. Okay, so now what we need to do is we've got to go up to the point where we got to turn this guy on. And essentially, starting, I would say, there, and take all that out. Now, as you can see in the prior shot, we had him land in a pose and then the camera zoomed in. We're going to ditch that camera move, actually. We're going to lose that camera move, and we're going to lose these frames and cut to an outside shot, probably right here. So the shot where we see the other guy struggling to get in, we're gonna turn this before this shot. We're gonna do an outdoor shot, which I think is gonna actually look way better. It's gonna tell the story more effectively. It's gonna get rid of some of the scaling issues that I had in my first rendition of it. So yeah, that's cool. So in fact, let's go ahead and turn the floor back on and the sky, but let's make them kind of semi-transparent. You see, earlier I couldn't do this. I would turn down the transparency of the levels and nothing would happen. It was kind of annoying. Okay. Okay, so we do have that camera move in there. Does the camera move work? If we do that, yeah, maybe, actually. Maybe. Let's play with that. I'm actually thinking that looks kind of cool. So if we're going to go that route, what we would do is we would go to our redraw here, and let's use the animate tool to just stick in a keyframe. And then what we're not going to do, okay, right here we would have another key, and now to get from here to here we would have to stop the move there. But I actually think if this simply did a rotate, let's scale it a little bit. We may play with the positioning a little bit. Okay, and if we're going to do that, then at this point right here, and by the way, to know what the positioning should be, come to think of it, all we have to do is line up the background. Which I kind of sort of should have done. But I think I'm going to just take that out, and let's see if it sort of works. Okay, he's starting to move a little too late. Okay. Position. Oh, come on now. Really? Control Z. Okay, and then at frame 180, this has to stop. Okay, so that means all these frames need to be deleted. Thank goodness, we're finally getting rid of the original drawings that came out of Blender. Okay, L. And what happened? Our sky kept moving. Right. Why did our sky keep moving? Well, I think our sky kept moving anyway. Okay. Or did it? Okay. So the sky keeps moving, so we need to look at the schematic and figure out. I'm going to put this up in the other window. Put it up in the schematic and look at why the sky is moving around. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, so there's the sky, and the sky is married to peg 3. So what I really want to do, I want to look at the function editor and see where the I want to see where the pegboard animation stops, and that is peg 3. So let's go to peg 3, and let's just take a look at the okay. There's got to be some keys here somewhere. Seems like they would have been up here. Okay, how's this possible? Peg 3 is animated. Oh, wait a second. Nope, that's correct. Peg 3 has the sky connected to it. Now, of course, we could just get rid of peg 3 and redo the animation of the sky. That would probably be somewhat well advised, but what concerns me is these guys are also connected to peg 3. I guess we could connect them directly and just see what happens first. That'd be a good first step, just to see if things downstream are destroyed or not. And it doesn't look like they are. Looks like they might be translated slightly, but okay, that did not actually cause a problem. Sorry, I didn't transition. What I wanted to see is if this frame was positioned incorrectly, and it is not, so that's good. Okay, so that means in the beams, what are the beams? Let's see what the beams are by bypassing the pegboard. Okay, and now we'll come back here, see what maybe I'm missing. And again, doesn't seem to be presenting a problem, so that's good. This is reference. Oh, this is the Blender reference. Gosh, are we at the point where we can finally delete that altogether? I don't know. Let's turn it off and have a look and see if anything disappears. Let's hit the L key and just run a full-blown preview here. Did I just say full-blown? I was trying to say full-blown. Okay. I think we're in good shape, except there is more that happens in the scene. Okay, yeah, but it's... And it looks like there might be some keyframes related to the vase that continue down here, but you know, what could these be? I'm gonna say we're probably safe to delete those, but let's make sure. We're not safe to delete those, darn it. Okay, so if I know OpenTunes, this is where undo will all of a sudden fail. Nope, it didn't fail, so that's good. So apparently, what's weird is that that key is way down here. Okay, but at least... Okay, at least we haven't broken anything with the schematic. So that means that this, which I had turned off, is not actually serving any purpose here in the scene, so anymore. So we finally put that Blender reference shot behind us. Okay, so this is good. So now the only thing we got to do is, sorry, I keep forgetting to transition back. But what you can see is the only thing right now that's egregious to the scene is the fact that the sky keeps moving. So that means that we can take pegboard 3 out of our scene, and now what'll happen is our sky won't move at all, I imagine. Let's go back and see. Okay. Actually, it did move a little bit. Okay, well that's good. And it's still moving. So that makes me wonder what the heck's going on, because over here we can see that I don't see any keyframes on it, and it's connected directly to the table. So what the heck's going on? What the heck is going on here? This isn't making any sense. Oh, I know why. I can see why. Wow, that's kind of shocking. Okay, it turns out, I should have noticed this before. This is my stupidity. It turns out that this move of the sky is actually an image sequence. So, problem solved. We take that out and extend this frame and we're done. There, we fixed it. Yep. Okay. Boy, I had a little bit of a stupid attack there, didn't I? Alright, so now, File, Save All. I believe we're in better shape now. He comes up there, and now he goes into that move. And then I think what needs to happen is he goes into that move. And then we're going to actually have another shot going outdoors. So honestly, I'm actually thinking what I should do. Let me see if I'm... Okay, I've got this I've got column 14 here with a drawing of precisely nothing. I wonder if, let's save our work, if I delete that, does it delete the level? Yeah, it does, but what if I grab from here to here? Actually, no. Let's do this. Let's draw a frame. So let me hit the B key and boop. Okay. Now I'm going to take this from here to here and just bump it over to here. Okay. So now what should happen is we've got to get rid of the background. So let's see, frame 182 is where the new shot begins. So we need to get rid of the sky and the background for that length right there. Okay, so then the question becomes, well, what is this going to be? What it's going to be is we're going to go back to I'm just gonna have some fun here and just draw this. Okay, but OpenToons has decided you're not allowed to draw. No, no, no. No drawing allowed. What you get to draw is a whole bunch of nothing. When you put your pen down, oh, I see what's going to happen. OpenToons has gone stupid. So we're going to save it, kill it, as we so often need to do, reopen OpenToons, because the memory management is so bizarre that it really mucks up the works quite a bit in terms of remembering things. And according to this drawing is kaput. So I'm curious if I've got auto creation turned on, but what it's telling me is there ain't no such drawing. It doesn't exist. So this is definitely interesting. It renumbered them for me. So let's do it this way. Let's hit the B key. And okay, so yeah, this is a little bizarre, but it's what you gotta do. Okay, so we're gonna put that there so that we actually have a drawing. Now hopefully, yep. Okay, so now what should happen here is we have this got Ninja number 1 here hanging out sort of like this, and then what we have is this guy struggling to pull himself up into the room. So I'm gonna just kind of make it look like he's struggling a bit because I don't want to bother animating it at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to go like this. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that is so we have this, and by the way, this angle seems completely wrong here. So we'll have him struggling, and he will actually bop himself up into the room, and then we'll be able to jump to this shot. So that will actually make sense at that point. Okay. And obviously, we don't really need the picture of a car here anymore. So let's just kind of correct that because we can. So what's going on is we're going to get to here, and at that point, at 139, a car is no longer in the scene. So let's just get rid of her instead of having it cause all manner of confusion. Boom. Save all. Okay, so now we should actually be able to set this as an end marker, or stop marker, as OpenToons likes to call it, and see what we've got. So she's like, what's going on here? This guy. Okay, sneaking in. The timing, I'm not saying the timing is right at this point. and it isn't right, actually. We need to do some seriously aggressive ripple editing, actually, because what really needs to happen is, at this point, I am going to say this camera move really is not helping. That camera move is not helping. It's actually just adding extra motion for no good reason. So forget it. We're going to take it out. Okay, and then we're going to want to hold this shot longer. So I'm going to really need to open up a large X sheet window so I can select all the other levels and drag them down and just get them out of the way so that this pose can be held for about a second, I think. So given that, there's this motion going on right here that we've determined we're going to get rid of. Therefore, we'll take all these guys, grab those, drag these down. I can't believe I actually selected the correct frame. Okay, that's impressive. Okay, so we got... Yeah, the reason the sky was... The camera move was baked in, because I think what I did was I put the sky graphic maybe in Blender and then just pre-rendered it. Okay, so now we want to let him get into his position, and then I'll confer with Valerie on this pose to see if she likes that sort of ending pose or if she wants him to do a little more. But I'm thinking this will be extended. So let's go ahead and deal with the overall timing of this correctly right now. So what that means is basically everything sort of stops at frame 181. So we'll go down to 181, and okay, and there's Ninja 1's shadow. I'm gonna just delete that. I'll deal with his shadow later. Okay, and these frames are all okay. I guess that's it. That's it. All we have is this. Oh no, I'm sorry, my bad. I made a mistake. Let me pull this up into the other window so that we can really see what we're doing. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just scanning through the action to make sure I just have my frame numbers correct. So yeah, his pose stops at 181. So everything from 181 down needs to be just dragged. What's strange is that OpenTunes, so stupid sometimes. Yeah, you click on frame 181 and OpenTunes jumps to frame 1. Why? Like I've said before, I'm sure there's some amazingly brilliant reason why that actually makes sense. I'm too stupid. I don't see it. Okay, so here he gets locked into his pose, and then so the question is, what the heck? Oh, I see. It makes sense now. Okay, so we've got everything from here down to here has to be moved down, and what's going to happen now, I'm selecting all of this so that we grab the keys as well. I was told by Darren T the other day, I think it was Darren who told me this, I think if we control drag, that the keys get moved too. I don't know if that's true. And what just happened? It looks like literally nothing happened. What control drag does is actually drag the selection. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So now I have to come back here and see if that somehow screwed up my whole animation. Is the whole thing boogered up now somehow? Because it's like basically, because the way you see how it just jumped up to frame 15 or something, I didn't do that. You know, I clicked down here, but it jumped up. So things just happen. They just happen. You don't need to know what they are or why or anything like that. Don't be so picky. Okay. So now we got this. We got this. This. Okay. It appears to me that no harm has been done. So my question now becomes, let's not worry about Ninja 1 at this point. What we really want to do is find out, how do we move this column? Like right now, if I move this column, you'll see that the keyframes stayed in the same place. So what I want to know is, how do we get it? Nope, doesn't work. Let's go control drag. Nope, doesn't work. Ah! Okay, so OpenToon's idea of undo at this point is going back to the time 20 minutes ago when I deleted the shadow column. Okay. Maybe it's because the undo is specific to the X sheet. Okay, so what if I hit Alt? Nope. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording, because this could get really, really, really ugly. So I'm going to stop recording and figure out how the heck do you move the cells in an X sheet level and have the keyframes drag along with the cells. Honestly, I can imagine some scenarios where you wouldn't want that behavior, but it would be rare. 99 times out of 100, if I drag the cells around, of course I want the respective animation tool keyframes to move in concert with the cells I'm moving around. It's not the default behavior. What I've had to do every time in the past is move the cells and then manually move every single one of those keyframes. So I'm hoping I can figure out how to not have to do that. But for now, that's it. I think I'm done for today. And hopefully when I come back, I will have actually already figured out the answer to this question. So, adios.